All right. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good day. And once more, welcome to National Telegraph. We are on the map, and today we are with a senior lawyer from Africa, from Cameroon, and he's here in our studios in Washington, D.C. My name is Tataw. Once more, welcome to National Telegraph. For those of you who are just joining now, I think we started this show but had some technical issues and had to come back. So, Barrister Fru, once more, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric.
For being very patient.
Sorry for the technical issue.
Yeah, you know, most of the time when you're here, we have a lot of these issues. Yes. Is it that they're following you around and making sure you don't have nothing to say?
Maybe that's it. Who knows? Who knows? I'm in the diaspora and I am at their mercy.
Right. And so basically, we're talking a whole lot of things in the show, which went on for about 20 minutes before we had that blackout. Yeah. And we want to make sure and monitor to be sure that we have the volume intact. Yes. And everything to be good. So we are certain that we're going to have a beautiful show now. Yeah. So thank you once more for joining.
Thank you.
So we want to start all over by measuring the some very serious issues that are going back in your country, where you come from, where you have a lot of information. So basically, we'll talk about the humanitarian situations in southern Cameroon, so the two English regions of Cameroon, like other people prefer to call it. We'll also talk here about the issues in Sonora. We'll talk about that. Above all, we'll talk about the very internal wranglings that have been going on within the struggle, the Amazonian struggle, like you people call it. My name is Tataw. If you're joining, this is National Telegraph, and we remain extremely very cautious to be certain that everything goes well. I think by monitoring this, our volume, or some people still complain about the volume, we're going to check out to ensure that we have a good volume. So we monitor right here, and but I think technically. Some people say the volume is not good. I don't know why the volume is not good, but I think I get the volume very clearly. It should be their phone. Let's say, yeah, we'll check it here. We'll check it here very quickly. I think this is a new one that's up. So I want to look at the volume. Volume is perfect. Some say volume is not good. Let me see. So I want to look at the volume. The volume is good, I think. I think the volume is good. Is perfect. Some say volume is good, please. The volume is very good. I think we don't want to get distracted with this volume stuff. So thank you so much, all of you who are joining. We just want to make sure that everything goes well. So we are going to kick off, and we want to start with a whole lot of things. So please, if you join us, be sure not to get distracted. Take the message. Thank you so much, all of you who are joining. If you're joining, please do not forget to share this video to all other platforms. Do not forget to like and follow our page. We are on Facebook on National Telegraph, and of course on YouTube, still on National Telegraph. We are on Twitter, and you can also follow me, Eric Tataw, on Snapchat. I think we just got that other app included in one of our communication, amongst our communication tools. So, Barrister here, Barrister, once more, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So we'll go straight to the point because we don't want to belabor the point.
Yes.
Let's start with what's going on the ground. We'll talk about for a few minutes your assessment of the brutality of the Cameroon military and the Amber Boys, like some will call it. We'll start from womb, where there's something very rare that is going on. You must have heard about the Mbaros, or the Muslim community in Nsoh, which is a princet in the northwest of Cameroon, that a lot of you now prefer to call it Northern Zone. What is your take about the Muslim problem with the local community there?
I don't want to generalize it for being a Muslim problem. A few misguided Mbororus were being protected by the army to burn villages and destroy and kill some of our people. And they were doing this in the presence of the army. The army was giving them cover, and they did the type of damage that they did. Right. The casualties were still to ascertain. I wouldn't say that the Muslim community, no. That would be giving a dog a bad name. So in order to kill it. I am saying that a few misguided Bororos connive with the government, and they are being supported by the military to burn villages in Wum, and I must assure you that they will not get away with it.
So when you say the few misguided, or what exactly will you mean?
What I mean is that it's not all the Bororos are involved. The Bororos are part of us. They are our brothers and sisters, and by and large, a lot of them are fighting with us.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that there are few misguided Bororos that have been supported by government to go after, not after the Amber Boys because they can't find the Amber Boys. They are going after the villages, the people, killing and burning villages in Wum, and they are being protected and supported by firepower from the government, from the military. From the military.
But that's what I'm saying. Let's say the Amber Boys have killed some of their family members. How true?
I don't know. I don't have that feed. I don't think that is true. But the Amber Boys, after this disaster, after what these misguided Bororos have done, I will go after them. And it's a very volatile situation, and we'll have to find a way to make sure that these excesses do not eliminate our people.
At your level, you're talking with the interim government. Is the leadership supporting issues like these for Amber Boys to go after Amber Boys, or they're trying to see how they can resolve?
No. Eric, I've not discussed with any interim government official on this. Look, I am telling you what I know. What I know is that there are few misguided Bororos that have gotten together and gotten the backing of the military.
So if you were to suggest to the government or the leaders of this separatist movement, what would be your suggestion on how to handle this issue?
No. I'm not going to suggest anything to that government, to La République du Cameroon. But I would suggest to our people,
that's what I was
to our people, to our government, to intervene and make sure that first, Borolo people must be protected because they are part of us, parcel of us. And secondly, all the killings and the burnings, they should know that even if Borolos did it, they did it under the guidance of the military. So by implication, the military put them up to that. And the question is, you cannot control what goes on during war.
Right.
And if the Amber Boys go after them, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that they are going after them.
So don't you think this is undermining the cause?
No, it will undermine the cause if they do. It will undermine the cause if they do.
Right.
But I'm saying that everything should be done to prevent that from happening.
So what can you propose?
That the commanders on the ground should caution the Amber Boys and make sure that
they don't attack.
They don't retaliate against Bororo people, and that they should not generalize it. Go after all the Bororos. No, there are a few, and make it again, a few misguided Bororo people.
But some people on the ground, like you mentioned, hold the view that it is most likely the military that would kill some of these Muslim people, in order to put the Ambazonian fighters against the community so that they can diffuse the attention from the crux of the matter, which is Ambazonians versus the central government of La République du Cameroun, like you people call it.
Yeah, you may be right, but I don't have any evidence to do that assertion. But I know that they teamed up with a few of these Borolo people to do the damage.
Right.
And it is not for us. It's not good for even the Amber Boys to retaliate against the Borolo community because they have nothing to do with it. I make it clear again. It's a few guided Borolo people.
Few misguided.
Misguided Borolo people who have connived with the military to do what they're doing in Wum.
So
by implication, I put the blame squarely on the military.
Right. So now this just
and that if the Amber Boys are going after anybody, they should go after the military.
Right.
Not after Borolo people, because the Borolo community has nothing to do with this.
Excellent. So you think that the military is actually sponsoring this group. As a matter of fact, some people say the Minister of Territorial
Oh
Administration.
yes, oh yes. These are groups sponsored by Tanganji. When I say misguided, I mean that these are people that Tanganji has put together and put them at the disposal of the military, so that military gives them cover, and so that they can blame it on Bororo people. That will not work, because the Bororo people are some of the most ardent supporters of this struggle, because it has to do with they are part of the Southern Cameroon.
Right.
So Tanganji has done his worst. He did that in Kambe. It didn't quite work. Now he's doing it in Womb.
So now, is this some kind of another strategy that the government has, manufactured? Because formerly you complained that because people have been complaining of a lot of kidnapping going on the ground, and some try to blame the Amber fighters, but you, like many other Southern Cameroonians who are pro-independence, you have complained about the fact that these groups are formed, they are parallel groups, parallel Amber groups formed by the government in order to ensure that when they kidnap people, they ask for ransom is going to weaken the cause.
Listen, I cannot put that blame only on the groups formed by government. There is the ADF. The ADF is on the ground, but they are not fighting La Republique. I say that with all certainty. They are not fighting La Republique.
Right.
What are they doing? They are kidnapping our people, asking for ransoms, and living fat in the places where they are. They are in Kurugwe, Kuruku, and somewhere in the forest in Batibo. And I can assure you that I am sitting here, I'm a victim, because my brother-in-law was killed just a few days before I got here. And I have a conviction that they were killed by the ADF forces. The ADF forces on the ground do not fight anybody. They are there to stop money. They are there to kill people.
Are they
they are there to kill and take body parts.
So are they, if all these allegations are very huge, are you trying to say like they're enabling the government in carrying out?
Oh yes, they're in complicity. They're in complicity with the government.
So you're trying to
okay, let me tell you how it started. They were paid to guard Mukete's farms. It's from there that they got financed, they got armed, they got. You remember sometime it was said that they said that our boys have seized their arms. Those were the arms that they were furnished from Mukete farms.
Right.
And our boys seized it, and since then they vowed that they would kill our boys, and they finally did it in Guzang Market.
So
let me tell you, the ADF forces, the few ones that are still on the ground, are not fighting La Republique. I've said so, and I'll continue to say so. All they do is to get our boys and torture them.
Right. You
saw a picture somewhere in Kumbu, where they got some of our boys and tied them on pillars, and they were going to. I don't know what they finally did with them, but these are ADF forces that are not, in fact, restoration forces. They are not fighting our.
So in essence, you're trying to say those. We at the National Telegraph, we understand that fighters, pro-independence fighters in the Anglophone regions have been composed into like the counties.
Yes, county to county, local government to local government, and they're very well united. And the ADF forces are not part of that. All they take a small place and hang there, and we go. Look, let me tell you, most of the kidnappings in schools, when they go and kidnap students, were kidnapped by the ADF forces.
So it's not done by pro-independence fighters.
No.
How can you, talking to the international community, how can you differentiate ADF forces?
I will tell you
from pro-independent fighters.
If you see ADF forces, they have their uniform.
But now,
it's written behind ADF.
Don't you think that what you're saying here about ADF would also be undermining the pro-independence movement, because they
no.
They consider themselves part of it.
Until the ADF gets back to fighting on the ground, fighting La Republique. So far, up to when I got here, the ADF forces were not seen to carry any operation anywhere.
But they seem to be displaying a lot of weapons on social media and all of those things.
They display weapons that they have been furnished by Tanganji. They display weapons that were furnished from Mokete plantation.
But some say some of the display on Facebook are actually fake, that they take from Google and other places.
Some of them are fake. Some of them are real. But if they have real weapons, which I think they do, it's coming from the enemy.
So in that case, you don't count them as part of
No,
restorations.
I would not count ADF forces as part of the restoration forces until I see them fight La République du Cameroon. And so far, they have not fought the army anywhere.
Okay, let's just...
Since Guzang, those guys have not fought anywhere.
So ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining, you have issues, questions you want to ask, you can call us on WhatsApp or you send us your questions on +1 9174 801068. I'll take number all of them. +1 9174 801068. So that's the WhatsApp number. You can get that. You can get to us directly on that. Now we'll ask Barrister other issues before we get to the crux of the matter, which is talking about one of your interviews that you had, where you talk a couple of things. But let's get to Sonora. We discussed in the other show that got disturbed. We want to look at Sonora. One look at the fact that the government of Cameroon, after the incident on Friday, May 31, 2019, where Sonora came up in flames, and there was a huge vibration and all of those things. But the government has so far undermined any human health or humanitarian or environmental impacts that would have would come out the aftermath of these particular kind of explosions. We understand all of those things. So what's your take? How do you qualify the government being responsible? What can you qualify them for not making any statements on these issues of the environment? Remember that there's a lot of air pollution, land pollution, and even water pollution that would accrue from this particular incident.
This government lies from morning to evening. Even when there's a disaster like what happened in Sonora. And I'd like to congratulate you for your show you did, because it shows that it's the handiwork of God. The La République says it's a technical problem, which I believe it could be, but it was caused, it's the handiwork of the Almighty. Now, do you know, Eric, that I have read that there were casualties? La République du Cameroon is not talking anything about casualties. Because that kind of explosion and fire in that factory could not have happened without casualties. There were casualties. They are not talking about it.
So from the information you have, about how many people you think?
I don't know the number. Nobody can know the number. But let me say this. 99.9% of the workers there are Francophones. So I would suppose that 99.99% of the casualties are Francophones. And they are not, nobody's talking about it.
Why is the government? Why would the government possibly be hiding?
Because of the implication. They have not done the assessment of the damage done to the environment and to the population and the workers. And even the soldiers who are guarding Sonora. Let them tell the public how many soldiers have died, how many civilians have died, because you cannot tell me that a factory like that goes into explosion and nobody dies. It's a fallacy. Now, secondly, the Minister of Environment and the Protection of Nature and Sustainable Development came with a series of other ministers on the ground. So far, Eric, we have not heard any declaration from that ministry. And you saw the level of the smoke was very high in the sky. The whole of Paco was polluted by that explosion. Now, the burning is continuing even up to now, because the crude oil that is in the tanks, the reserve tanks, is now burning and producing slush. And this slush is going into the sea. Aquatic life is in danger. Aquatic life is in danger. That whole beach.
Okay, this question, Victoria, we have this question. You can see this question. I have to show Barrister. Yes. We have this question coming from Sanzento Benz from Houston. That should be in Texas.
Yes.
United. My question to the lawyer: how do you know the ADF is not fighting? Are you one of the fighters? That's the question. Before you go back to Somalia.
Yeah. Listen. we are on ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
We know our fighters.
Right.
We know what we're getting as results from the fighters. We know what, if there are casualties, we know. I actually saw ADF forces with their uniforms behind, ADF, and how they were torturing the restoration forces. Somewhere in Bui division. And since Guzan, the ADF forces have not been fighting.
So it's asking, how do you know?
I know because I live in ground zero, and I'm in contact with some of the activities of the restoration forces.
That would be a fair answer.
I have not heard anything of spectacular
about the ADF.
About the ADF.
All right, that's fine. So now we'll go further. You were talking about Sonora before. We'll take this other question from Tembi.
Yes.
After we'll take it from Tembi. He's asking something very important too. So you were talking about Sonora, and those of you who will be joining us, if you go to the webpage of National Telegraph, www.nationaltelegraph.net, you would have read what we wrote extensively about the Sonora issue and the environmental and health hazards, or the pollution. Just to let you know that some of the things that we highlighted in that report, that Cameroon has been declared very dangerous for tourists, that will send it around people.
I'm not surprised.
Yes, so one of the doctors around said that it's very dangerous for tourists. It will be very interesting for you to read that report to get an idea about what is going on. So let us get this very clearly. You know, they're going to be like, Limbe has the botanic garden, he has the zoo, he has beaches.
Very important sites.
So very important. And when that kind of explosion occurs, that is the analysis in our report, you have debris will settle in the beaches, in the seas, in rivers, in all the streams. And you know, the fishes, they eat the plankton like food. And so when that happens, it's going to cause the death of fishes. Sure. It's going to also.
That's why I say aquatic life is
also in trouble.
It's in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that the environmental ministry should quickly move in and create a
commission to
create an enabling environment for the protection of the environment,
wildlife, lands, and
so far
they have done nothing.
They have done nothing.
And tomorrow
I can understand also that the place is still burning, but then you have to limit the damage as much as you can. You cannot just come, pay a visit, go back to Yaoundé and sit in your office and say nothing. Maybe you're still writing reports. Who knows?
Right.
But it's a disaster that we must act.
And tomorrow is World Environment Day.
Yes.
China will be hosting World Environment Day under the theme air pollution.
Air pollution.
And coincidentally, Cameroon just had the most recent disaster.
Yes.
That would, of course, it's just automatic. It leads to air pollution. And the government is saying nothing about it. We have it on the website. So the government says nothing about air pollution. And what about those of you back home who are concerned about it? Are you doing anything to educate the public on the consequences?
Those of us who are back home, we don't have the means to do anything. The government detains the means to fight pollution. Now, we are lucky that the mountain is just around the corner. And it produces emits a lot of oxygen and so on and so on, so that it will limit
the carbon dioxide.
Yes, it will limit the amount of carbon dioxide that will be affecting the Boya population. But that's only in Boya. But everywhere in Fako, people are exposed, especially in Victoria, Ombe, Chico, all that, even as far back as to Miselele and all the other places, Ekona and so on. But we are lucky that we have the mountain, that it will the oxygen being emitted by plants and so on will help to reduce the impact. But again, government has not said anything so far about the environmental pollution disaster that is taking place, because that kind of burning, petroleum burning, it's very, very dangerous.
Right.
It produces sulfuric acid and all the other things. But what they said, I will quote them. They asked people who are living around there not to enter rain, not to drink rainwater, not to use, let children not go into rain when it's raining, and so on and so forth. But that is a good first step. But is that all? Is that all they have to do to limit the impact of the environmental pollution? I doubt because they have the equipment. That is, if they are serious, there are environmental groups that are already crying, and they need to do something to limit the environmental disaster.
Excellent.
Like I was telling you, you made a statement on your show that it was God's doing. Yes, but down deep down my mind, I thought of Guinea-Conakry.
Yeah.
When the French were living Guinea-Conakry, they destroyed everything that they ever built. They destroyed everything that the French had in hand. Destroyed even with houses, even with the house equipment, everything. I suspect, I'm not saying that I know,
Right.
I suspect that La République du Cameroon has done this to us because they have concluded that we are going away, and they don't want us to benefit from the infrastructure that is Sonara. So they have sabotaged us. That's the first thing that came into my mind. I may be wrong, but again, they have declared that it was a technical fault. The director of exploitation says it was a technical fault. That they have reported this to the hierarchy and nobody was doing anything. It's left to be seen. Right.
Now, we want to talk other issues.
Yes.
I understand tomorrow you would be on a show, one-on-one with Secretary Chris.
Yes.
But I'm also happy that you explained that there's some clarifications that you're going to make that probably some people
listen, Eric.
Understand.
Listen, yes. Eric. I cannot come here and give interviews on only one network.
Yes.
I have to get as many networks as possible. I'm not here. I'm not on a public relations mission like some of you activists have been singing over your head. I wanted to give you this exclusive interview before I go tomorrow and give my last interview and take off for Ground Zero. And those of you activists who have been insulting me and dancing all over the place, I'm inviting you to come to Ground Zero and let's do the work there. Since you think that you are on your comfort zone and you can say just anything against the barrister. Right. When I get on the media in Cameroon and I talk very vehemently against La République du Cameroon, all of you are cheering. But when I come here and I make one statement that can be interpreted in many other ways, you say that I have violated confidentiality of my clients. All of you are jumping up and down and trying to get me into. I will not get into that game.
Right.
When I see something, listen. I raise a red flag. That red flag, you guys can deal with it the way you want. I raise that red flag because my president, whom I respect very much, whom I struggled very much to remove from, so that three of us, we struggled very much. I named them. Barrister Young, Barrister Ndong, and myself. These were the three lawyers that fought so hard. We took out the planted lawyers by the government from there. And we went in and we started the procedure of habeas corpus, which resulted in the government panicked and got our people out of there and charged them and put them in a principal prison.
Today I was impressed to have a call from you. After my show, I think
I made the call. I made it several times in the morning, and you were very busy on the phone. You didn't get it because I wanted to give you this exclusive before I give another exclusive to Senator Chris, Secretary Chris.
I'm very pleased. I less expected this, but thank you for the honor for wanting to talk to National Telegraph. Just going forward now, you made. I want to call it as a journalist. I want to call it a controversial declaration.
You can call it whatever you want to call it.
You know how it is.
Yes.
I call it a controversial declaration.
Yes.
As a journalist, that has, if it's got a lot of wave, and on both sides, I put it both sides because, from our end at the National Telegraph, what we have observed is that there's a little rift in your government, the interim government. And
let me say this.
yes.
Any side can take it the way they want.
Mm-hmm.
That was not my intention.
Right.
I barely raised a red flag.
So
From
you
my
say-
findings,
yes,
from
your
my
findings.
findings, Eric,
Mhm.
from my findings, which I would not disclose it, because if I disclose it, it may have the tendency of destroying,
Of course,
destroying this
no
revolution.
problems, yeah.
I have worked so hard for this revolution since 1992 up to now. When we in 1993, when we went to the All Anglophone Conference, up to now, I am the last person to destroy this revolution. I made a statement. The statement was, our president has been compromised.
But it would appear a lot of issues.
Now you
came
can
up.
look at it anyway.
But when you said
When you
said compromise, what
Yeah.
exactly were you
Well,
saying?
There are many ways of being compromised. You can even be compromised without you knowing. For example, if you are in the captivity of the enemy, they put listening devices everywhere that you are. Anything you say, they are listening. Your the light bulb on your head,
Right.
you say anything there, they record it. If anybody thinks that he can make a phone call or phone calls or teleconferences in that prison and they are not hurt by La Republique, you're deceiving yourself. And secondly, I asked our president to explain to Ambazonians what he is discussing with Kanto Maurice and Ayolo Bondo. I know why I asked that question. Because I don't want my president to be derailed from the mission that he set for himself.
Right.
And I've raised that red flag. And for anybody, in fact,
So now let
has entered
the tribal lines.
Tribal lines.
Let me come in here very quickly.
Yes. Yes.
I think what you're saying makes a whole lot of sense, and a lot of people are trying to be very specific, saying a couple of things. So, Barrister Fru, you said very strangely that some people might not have understood. So, because some people thought that when you said compromise, what I understood, even as a journalist, was that it means that His Excellency, as you call him, Sisi Kwayo Tabe Julius, has surely taken money from the Republic.
No.
Let me go further.
Barrister Fru.
He's negotiating.
You know Barrister Fru.
Of course.
If Barrister Fru knows that money has changed hands,
He'll say it.
I will say it. Let the heavens and earth come down.
But some people also thought that
listen,
he's trying to exchange his freedom.
No. Exchange his freedom for what?
Well, I just asked.
For what?
So
Which lawyers are there?
Good.
Let me see who will touch him. But listen, I don't know why you activists are the ones answering this question. Because you answered it and said he has not been compromised, and you gave your reasons. Mark Barata, who has been insulting me, even though I am the age of his father, or even not older than his father, said that old pa should shut up. He should shut up, man. Shut up, you old pa.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a disrespectful child, young man, to say that to an old man like me. I am. What is my interest in this whole thing? I am a Mancon man. I'm from the Northwest, Mr. Barata. I'm from the Northwest. I have no reason to support a Bakweri man or a Bayangi man. My whole mission is to make sure that this revolution is not compromised in any way.
Right.
I didn't say the revolution was compromised. I said my president is compromised. Because when you talk to the enemy without the benefit of counsel, what is the logical thing that the council will say?
Right.
Will think. Let me tell you something. I have a lawyer who is in my team,
Right.
who has been writing rubbish about me.
Right.
I know that some of them who are in my team have been looking to take over the leadership of the defense. Be my guest. Take it over. But you cannot take it over by walking over me. I walked a very thin line when I made that statement. I have not divulged professional secrecy of my client. I have not said anything about the case. I have not devoured any professional secrecy that he confided in me. Anything that he confided in me. All I'm saying is that he failed to confide in his lawyers.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, he failed to confide in his lawyer.
Okay,
from the day he put out that letter, from the day he had started communicating, from the day, and I had warned him that you should know that any phone call you make in this prison, these people are listening to you.
So let me just ask for that question. I think it's getting very interesting, and I think the debate is quite very sweet. It makes a whole lot of sense.
But I'm going to cut you off if you cross the line.
Oh, but of course, the same way. Don't forget I'm the host.
Oh yes,
That's fine,
I know.
Okay.
I know who you are, Eric. I know who you are. By the way, you have been very fair. You have made sure that you stay in the middle. That is, I commend you for that, because that is the work of a journalist.
But some people, like before I ask my follow-up question, just thank you for making that comment. I didn't expect that somebody noticed it, because on our part, we have had a lot of stones. This is Eric Tataw, Telegraph, Partners in Crime.
Partners in Crime.
Right. So people say that, like, you get a couple of audios from the Seseko team, let me put it that way, insulting Eric Tataw. And you get
even from the other side, insulting Eric Tataw.
So you've noticed that?
I have noticed that, but it's neither here nor there.
So what do you think? You think is a good position?
No. Where you are credible. Why? Because you have stayed in the middle and you are looking at the issues as they are.
But what do you think about people who say, "Oh, Eric is Bayangi"?
No.
Some say he's.
I have not noticed in your outings so far that you are tribalistic anyway. I want to say this on the air, and I am willing for all those other activists, Mark Barata, Tapang Ivo, and the rest of it, those that were heard the show insulting Barrister Fru Nsoh, come with Barrister Fru Nsoh to Douala or anywhere else in La Republique and sit on any of those networks and let's tackle La Republique. Don't sit in your comfort zone here and insult me because I've made one phrase. And that phrase, I will go from today to tomorrow. I have not violated the confidentiality of my client. And I will never do that. The evidence I have in my hands concerning this issue, I will die with it. You only have to operate me and remove it. No. But I have it. But let me tell you, the day that we get to Boya, some of these issues, they will come up.
Right.
And I'm writing a book. Don't let nobody take me for a ride.
Right.
La Republique has not taken me for a ride. They have the planted CPDM talks to kill me. And the lawyer will sit in Yaoundé and say that, you make noise. They are running away from assassination. You want to stay out for 3 weeks. You went through the airport. They didn't assassinate you. When you come through the airport, they will not assassinate you. Are you not compromised? That is what a whole lawyer, who has been trained, does not know the conditions for violation of confidentiality.
Right.
To make that kind of a statement. This very lawyer, Eric, let me inform you, damaged our case in the Court of Appeal. After he violated instructions that I gave as lead counsel. And he went to the Court of Appeal and they damaged our case. Okay. I'm not going to call his name.
I remember that.
But I'm telling you,
some lawyers appeared there.
Yes, without my authorization.
Right.
And that caused the La Republique du Cameroon surrogate judges to immediately throw out the case from the Court of Appeal.
Wow.
And did I say anything about him? Have I said mention his name anyway? And I'm warning him. Because if he continues, I'm going to expose him to Amazonian people.
That's okay. That's fair.
No, I will. If he continues.
Well, I think he's listening to you.
Yes,
now
let's
get this stuff straight.
He should be listening. And let me repeat myself. I said our president has been compromised.
Okay, good.
And you have a different view. Every other person has a different view. But I said from my findings.
Now,
and listen now, and I told my president, tell your people what you are discussing with the enemy. What is it that you are discussing with Ayolo Mvondo? And of course, when I use Kamtu, it's not actually Kamtu. It's Kamtu's lawyers who for some reason, Kamtu's lawyer, for some reason, he's in my defense team. Now, some Bayang, a friend of mine, whom were in this struggle from the beginning, I'm not going to call his name, called me and said, what is wrong with Ayuk Tabe talking to Ayolo Mvondo? Well, maybe it's not wrong to you, but me, I'm in ground zero. I've lived with La République du Cameroon for years. I know their modus operandi.
Right.
I know high-profile prisoners, when they enter that place, they come out differently. And I don't want my president to be part of that. And when I raise a red flag, have I killed anybody?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Have I?
Not at all. I think. Let me just push this further. The issue of compromise is what
It's a very big word.
Big word.
It can go both ways.
Both ways. Now I want to follow up on this. Now, some people, like I've listened to audios, I'll play some here. They say that Siseko Ayuk Tabe is compromised because he's talking with La République to bring us to four-state federation. I want to ask you that is Ayuk now a federalist?
Not the person that I know. Ayuk Tabe will not negotiate for a four-state federation.
He will negotiate for two?
No. He declared the independence, for heaven's sake. He would not be true to himself. He declared that independence.
So when you look at him, when you look at him as your president, you think he still stands by the line of independence?
I don't know, but I suspect that he is because he just released something to the United Nations, and that comforted me. I know that, but I had to raise this red flag so that there should be no.
Just before you want to do this.
I want him to be careful. To whom he talks to.
But because some people interpreted it as though Barrister Fru said that Siseko is already until they were making conspiracies saying that there is a Franco.
I am still saying that my president has been compromised. Let heaven and earth come down.
So when you want to explain exactly the
no. If I don't want to get into the evidence because I will be crossing the line, professional line.
Right.
I have made one statement, one clause, one, you can call it, I say, the president, Siseko Ayuk Tabe, has been compromised. There are many ways of compromising. You look, whether you like it or not, even if he didn't meet with Ayolo Mvondo, I will make the same statement.
Right.
Because he has been making phone calls in that place. Doing teleconferences with the surrogates in South Africa. They have messed him up.
Oh, I understand where you go.
They have messed him up.
Probably he has been compromised by the South African people.
Oh, yes, my friend. And not only that, La République du Cameroon too. They have messed him up and they have given him the worst advice. And he did that without consulting the team that he has. 39 lawyers so far. That the interim government put 35 and the bar put 4. I don't know of any lawyer that he confided in. And if he confided in a lawyer, I don't know which lawyer would allow him to issue that document. The document dissolving the interim government.
Right.
And with all that, I had not even...
Generally, I think your statements are comforting to the Ambazonian people because they were like, I followed social media very closely as a journalist and as an activist. And a lot of conspiracy theories were already going out there that compromise will mean that he has taken money from... Let me just name some of the things that they said that I follow on social media so that I can follow up with you. They said Siseko Ayuk Tabe has been compromised because he has taken money from La République du Cameroon. He has been compromised because he's negotiating to come out of jail. So he's going to take 4-state federation or 2-state.
Not the Ayuk Tabe that I know.
Right.
Not the Ayuk Tabe that I've known for more than 9 months now, working with him.
We also heard that the Human Rights Commission came to the
Yes,
and he
yes.
declared to them.
And he declared to them that until he's going to die defending the independence of the Southern Cameroon.
So why all this story about him being a federalist?
I don't know where that story is coming from. Look, don't ask me. It is you, the story gets here. It is you, the Amazonians here. Whatever you say here does not engage me in any shape or form.
Right.
I have made that statement. The cabal in South Africa. Let me. I know you will come to ask me about this finances thing, but let me tell you, Eric, I have not received any money from South Africa. The money that came for the filing of the habeas corpus, which Timothy Mbesa, who was working as a legal advisor to the interim government, told the interim government that it was not necessary. Our colleague, our learned colleague in this America, Barrister Bobga, I give him all the credit for being the motto behind us being succeeding in taking Ayuk Tabe and his government from that incommunicado detention to where they are today. How? Bobga is the one who sent us that money. That money first went to Bamenda. Barrister Young took 1 million from there and gave 150,000 in the office of Bobga. You know, he has a chambers in Bamenda. Now, it was remaining with 850. Another money came through another woman, which Barrister Ndong in Yaoundé received 500,000. All that money, we sit down, we do the filings, we do everything. And let me also say this. I know you are going to ask, but let me jump the gun. Tabayang has been dating me all over the place. I want Tabayang to publish all the money he has sent to me.
Right.
Let him publish it with evidence. Because all the money that we receive from the interim government, 3 of us, the 3 core lawyers who started this thing, who did the habeas corpus and got them out of the set, we are the 3 who have been managing all the funds that come from the interim government. You follow me?
Yeah, sure I do.
Now,
I know Barrister Ndong is there.
Barrister Ndong, Barrister Young, and myself. We distribute the money according to delegations. The Northern Zone delegation has 15 lawyers. We give that is being managed by Barrister Young. The Southern Zone was managed by, you will not believe this, Benjamin Nsoh. Benjamin Nsoh has not been very regular in the trials of Ayuk Tabe. Because he's a member of the Cameroon Bar Association. What does that mean? Mean that your brother is in jail, you will not take part in defending him? But he comes once in a while. I wouldn't say that he has not been coming, but he comes once in a while, and he has not shown some loyalty to this defense. But at least he was the one managing the money that went to the Southern Zone. And I have records of him, of the money he received from me. For Tabayang to throw this debt on me, for Tabayang to throw that debt on me,
we also
listen, he will have to prove it. If he doesn't prove it, I know how I'm going to get him to prove it.
You're going to take him to court?
Just wait. Just wait. Tabayang is playing with a snake. I went to Boston. Boston raised $2,000.
Right.
I came and declared it to Tabayang. He's the finance secretary. And he added the money, and I took it, and I went, and the 3 of us sat down. We went and changed it into CFA. We sat down, and we distributed. Some lawyers were calling here to complain that they're not getting money. You know who those lawyers are?
No.
They are lawyers that are not sponsored by the interim government.
Oh, so I heard.
Yeah. Yes, there are 35. Interim government sponsor only 35 lawyers. But if you look at that court, more than 100 lawyers attend. But you know what? Those who do the case are only us, the 35. Are only us, the 35. And we select the legal minds.
Right.
We sit down in a pre-trial conference, we prepare our file, we do everything. And this lawyer that has been wishing that I should be assassinated, either leaving the airport or coming back from the airport, he joined this defense. And I have no option, I have no quarrel with that because he came through Barrister Young.
So,
if he wants the leadership,
right.
he started by disobeying me by going to the Court of Appeal. If he wants the leadership, he can have it.
So now, so are you still defending the
I am still the lead counsel for Ayuk Tabe and 9 others.
Right.
I am until I make a decision to quit.
Right.
You see, I'm not the only lawyer. They have made it all, that 35, there are a lot of competent lawyers there. But
now,
I will continue to defend Ambazonians.
Right, I understand. Now, let's go on through this other question.
Yes.
There's a lot of confusion and that's going on. And, you know, activists are talking this way. People are writing. There are a lot of audios. For example, let me just quickly play one of these audios that involves, let me see if I'm going to get it right. Let me push it out. Okay, I'll just try to play this quickly. I'm sure that we'll get it, just for you to listen to. Just for you listen this for 30 seconds.
My brother Eric Tataw, outing of yesterday. Yeah, brother Eric, you have choose to be Makbarata when Bala came to Belgium and sold a strategy to them.
I'm sure people are getting. After this, we'll take your questions.
Mark, please remain in between IG and
So for this other, I would just want to use this audio so that you can clarify a couple of things. For this other audio, this person thinks that I've been planted in between by Siseko. That's why I am neutral, so that I'll get information from the Sako camp, and you know that's what they said. Now he says that Eric Tataw is linking out with Ayaba, Ayuk Tabe, and the rest. Okay, that's what he said. Then in this other audio,
Eric Tataw, you are a thief.
that's what this other person says. That Eric Tataw, you are a thief.
Your conscience is not clear.
That I took money from Sako to defend him against Siseko. You know.
We acting president. You reverse, go back again. I want thank we acting president. If our president was like that, you are a thief. You think we don't know that?
I don't want to hear it.
Sako gives you some that.
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, so okay, this first person says.
know-
Now let me just.
Do
pull
you
up
know
that
that from the other side, they're saying that Sako has paid me money?
Yeah, so the reason why
that Sako has given money to me to come and dirty Siseko.
So the reason why
whatever the
but
consequences.
you have just made it clearly here that Siseko is not a federalist. He's not going to compromise the federation.
I don't know
independence.
whether Siseko is a federalist. As far as I know, he is not.
Okay.
As
Now,
far as I know.
Of course, I get that point. Now
Yes.
you've listened to 2 audios. And there are a lot of writings on social media. What advice?
This is what is met by you people in the diaspora.
So what advice will you give activists? Where do you think they should
My
stay?
advice is that these activists should spare us and let this revolution move.
Right.
Listen, Ayuk Tabe is in prison. Sako is the acting interim president, and it will stay that way till conditions change. When a captain or a general falls and is captured
He can
by the enemy,
He can act from
he can't
from the
act
camp.
and he can't even it cannot even make a
That's a
statement.
fact. That's a fact.
It cannot even make a
That's
statement.
a
It
very
cannot
clear
even
fact.
question the management of
That is a very clear fact.
Huh?
You're right.
So
I agree with you.
let him stop
I agree with
where
you.
he is. All those things that he has issued, all those documents that he has issued, he was deceived by the South African cabal, and I know it.
Right.
They have compromised him. They helped to compromise him.
Right.
And when I say that my president has been compromised, let you people can jump up and down and say whatever you want to say. But I'm warning Mark Barata. Don't call my name again anywhere.
That's fine. So that's why. Now, what will you advise Ambazonians with all this quarreling?
Ambazonians to get together. Ambazonians to get together. Stop this quarreling, and let's get together and get to Boya together.
Right.
Stop this quarreling. Because if you continue to quarrel, the enemy will use it the enemy is using it and will get to us. I cannot begin to tell you what the enemy is doing right now, Eric, but I'm not going to say that on the air. But if you guys continue to push me the way you are pushing me, I will release some of this. But let me tell you, Ayuk Tabe and all the others who are in prison today.
Somebody, there's a question here, probably. Somebody's saying that's from Fidelis, and I take special note of him because they have been writing a lot of comments on Facebook as well. He says, Eric, stop pushing that man to say what you want. Is it a fair question?
Who has pushed me?
That's what.
Hold on. Nobody, including La République du Cameroon, where I'm coming from,
Perfect.
can push me to say anything.
Because I know
I am saying that
Mm-hmm.
Ayuk Tabe has been compromised, and you didn't push me to say that.
Of course.
I will continue to say that. Let heaven and earth come down.
Good. And you have explained very, very.
I explained. I've not given you the evidence of anything.
Now the
but I have the evidence. And he's talking to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to the enemy. Did he take any lawyer? Did he confide in any lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Has she?
Okay, we will officially ban Ambazonian Bobo, one Ambazonian Bobo from this page. You will never be able to comment on this page or follow up this National Telegraph page. We'll ban you. We're just trying to inform our listeners. I don't know, it's a fake profile who makes a lot of. When you say Alapa to talk hook, I think you're talking to Eric Tataw, a professional journalist, well respected, who does not owe you $1 or a franc.
That is Alapa to do what?
To talk cook. He referred to me as a cook. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
So based on that, we are going to ban you from this page, Ambazonian Bobo.
You don't do that. Various opinions are important.
No,
I made that statement, and you see, the whole world is lawyers are taking it now like a point of study. I have read everything on Lawyers Without Borders, Seseko Defense, common law lawyers. They are jumping up and down.
So we just want to make this comment very quickly that we respect everybody's opinion. But when people come to this page, just 1 minute, Barrister, when people come to this page, I'm talking now as the CEO of National Telegraph who is hosting the show.
Yes, sure.
When you come to this page, you have the right to bring your opinion, bring your arguments. But when you say you call a respectable journalist a crook on social media, I respect that if you were on Eric Tataw's platform. But I just want to say, I want to let Ambazonian Bono that this will be a last warning. So we will probably allow him for now, based on other considerations. So next time, make your point very clearly and make sure that you don't insult people. So there's no crook here. We're just trying to exchange opinions. So some people also, why I do this, I try to educate a few people. People say, allow power to talk. You have to know that in journalism, there is always a follow-up question. Sometimes you interject the person who is talking in order to get some information so that you don't forget.
Let me make this.
Go ahead now.
Let me make this statement. Like I said, the letters that Ayuk Tabe wrote dissolving the interim government, the formation of a new government, and the formation of a transitional restoration council, to me, are treasonable offenses.
Right.
They are treasonable offenses. And based on that, you can be impeached if you are president. I'm not saying that there's anything about impeachment. I've not said that. But I'm saying that based on that, you can be impeached. Because
you're right.
The South African cabal has put him where he is. Let them remove him. I am calling on Atta Milan to liaise with him and let them tell us what happened in the Naira Hotel. I cannot be doing a case in darkness. I don't know what happened in Naira Hotel. Up to now, nobody knows. And when they ask Mr. Ayuk Tabe, he says it's not important. How is it not important?
Right. That's pretty fair. So thank you, Barrister. We'll continue with some more questions.
Yes.
That people have asked questions here that we'll take.
Yes.
We want to run on this show for the next 20 minutes. And we're glad that all of you are following very closely. This, is very important for all these things to be made. And Barrister had made very, very clear and very important points here. I don't know. I have raised a red flag. Right. If you take it or you leave it. Of course. I've raised a red flag. And those of you activists, those of you activists of the other side, because
I am so shocked with the declaration of Mark Barata. I'm so shocked with anyway, I'm not shocked with Tapong Ivo. Neither am I shocked with Capo Daniel. But I used to read Mark Barata so much. Whatever happened? Whatever happened? You have to stay a credible journalist, man. You listen to me, I said, Ayuk Tabe has been compromised. What do you understand by that? Why don't you take time as an intellectual to examine that within yourself before you start insulting? Let that power shut up. I'm not, Mr. Mark Barata, this power, La Republic has not been able to shut him up. You will not. And from today to tomorrow, you will not. And thank your God that you get to my age and functioning the way I'm functioning.
So now, now why is it that you said that Ayuk Tabe has been compromised? I put it in quote. Then people who are pro-Sako were happy and all of that. Now you're saying that
I'm in the diaspora.
Just 1 minute.
I'm in the diaspora.
Let me just get this.
Okay,
straight.
get that.
Because the question is simple. That now you said that Ayuk was compromised. And people who are pro-Sako, because I'm following up the social media, they were very happy and they took it all over. Today you're saying that okay, yes, Ayuk Tabe is compromised, but you, as far as you know, he's not for federation. He's still for independence. Why are they getting angry now? What can be their problem?
Are they angry?
Yeah, I see some comments trying
No. I am saying as of now. But if he continues with La Republique du Cameroon, I cannot determine what happens tomorrow.
Right.
That's why.
So that's why you raise the flag.
That's why I raised the flag.
But basically, some people were talking like if somebody didn't follow your show, though, it would appear like it's Barrister Fru who said that Ayuk has been compromised because he wants to come out from jail because he.
No, I did not develop that. I was walking a tight line between professional ethics and my declaration. A very tight line. I made one statement. He has been compromised because of my findings, man. And I don't want to release those findings because it will destroy this revolution. You can go up to tomorrow. All those lawyers who have Nsoh lawyer who came into the defense because he thought that he knew more than me. Fine. I've been in this profession by far more than him, by longer more than him. And so when I give instruction to him,
you have to take because you are the.
He refused to take. He goes and enters appearance in the Court of Appeal and see where we are.
Now, what is the best?
I was not forced to work with the other lawyers in Yaoundé to give them instructions so that we appeal at the Supreme Court, and they have done that. And
so what is the best position you would advise every Ambazonian to take to support, to talk very firmly against Siseko or firmly against Sako, or to remain neutral?
No. There's no question of remaining neutral. Siseko has messed up, and he should be told that.
Right.
He should be told that, and even reprimanded for that. So because everybody was working towards having him released, and he takes the baton of leadership.
He took a decision.
And he went and took a decision. And some of those surrogates, his surrogates, I would say, they called me up and they were saying, "What is wrong with him talking to Ayolo Mbondo?" To me, it is everything wrong with it.
Right.
As long as he was not doing that with the protection of counsel. Number one. Number two, I also heard them say Ayuk Tabe did what he did because Sako embezzled 500,000 of their money. What the heck?
Right.
What the heck? The Sako I just met doesn't look like somebody who has even $5,000 in his pocket. I am serious, Eric. I'm not going to judge anybody. But if you want this revolution to be declared a terrorist organization, force Sako to publish anything.
Okay,
Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Somebody said using the word pro Sako is good. We should manage not co-devising because exactly.
Yes.
Some people say because pro Sako is referring to me, which is a very important comment.
Yes.
They're saying that pro Sako and pro Siseko is creating division. That's true.
Yes.
So, like as an activist, what is your opinion about the position that I've taken? Let me now ask this question to you.
No, Eric, I listen to your shows. You took the position that Ayuk Tabe has not been compromised, and you gave your reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Fair and good. But those reasons have nothing to do with the evidence I have.
No, I'm not talking general about the compromise issue. I'm talking about.
No. You said.
I agree.
You said on your show,
I agree with you.
and you listed.
I listed reasons. I'm saying that what the question I'm following up.
But let me tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you. That is fair. Because you have remained neutral. You also said that if anybody casts aspersions on Barrister Fru Nsoh for money, you don't have anything to say about that because you don't know about that, and that is also fair. You are sitting in the middle.
And I said Sissoko cannot rule from jail.
And you said Sissoko cannot rule from jail, and you have said that before, and you continue to say that. But the fact that he did what he did, and he's continuing, he's continuing.
So, by what general advice will you have for Ambazonians?
I said that
everybody should adopt the neutrality policy of Eric Tataw, or to be
everybody, no. Everybody should get together and work towards going to Boya. You can have your opinion, but don't let your opinion destroy the revolution. Don't let your opinion have any effect on this revolution, because some of us may die without getting to Boya, but at least we die in peace knowing that our children will get to Boya. But please, anybody who plans to destroy this revolution will have me to contend with. I'm going back to Ground Zero, and I'll be on television, and let nobody call me and talk about this again, because I am leaving this behind here. Don't call me. I'm not in the diaspora. All I know is that our president, Ayuk Tabe, has been compromised. The compromise, he started by receiving very bad advice from the cabal in South Africa.
Which is bad, it's compromise, right?
Is that not
being compromised?
Is that not being compromised?
Well, I think based on my judgment of I can't say, like you've always advised me, that stay neutral and
yes, of course.
And
secondly, the fact that he's talking to the enemy. And I said that, and I will say it again. And when I put all together, plus all the documentation he has put out here, it's treasonable. But it's my client.
Yeah,
I have a duty.
Some people think
I have a duty
to protect him.
To protect.
Some people think you are contradicting yourself, because if you say he's been compromised and then you still say he cannot go, he's not federalist. As far as he's still an independentist.
A man declares independence in 2017. He has just written to the United Nations giving conditions for...
He also declared in court.
He declared in court that he was not a citizen of Cameroon. And he has also written... Was he supposed to write directly to the United Nations sitting in that jail?
No, I don't think so. He was not supposed to.
That is also treasonable. He should have passed it to... It should have passed it to the interim government. And he was not even supposed to write that. Not to talk of passing it.
But he wrote it.
And that further complicates his case. And he's still behaving as if he's a government in prison. No, man. This is not a hereditary... This revolution is not inherited by anybody. And like I started, Eric, I told you that I was from Mancom. Bamenda.
So you don't have any reason to support anybody?
I don't have any reason to support a Bayangi man or a Bakuri man. I am supporting the revolution. I am a believer in the institutions, and any man that violates
the stuff,
yes,
revolution.
It should be dealt with.
So now, basically, there is this issue about. I want to ask a personal question.
Yes.
But, you try to raise it formally.
Yes.
There's an issue about one of your activists by name Eric Tataw, although he's the one presenting this show now. Though. He's so crazy, right? But a lot of people say, "Oh, he's supporting Sissoko." Like you've had the two tapes, and some say he's supporting Sissoko. He's tribalistic. You, psychoanalyst, you've been following all of these things closely. I want to really get your opinions. Important. Maybe you said it before.
You know what?
No, go ahead.
You know what? If you were supporting Sissoko and against me from the declaration I did, I would not be sitting in your studio. I will be compromised by you.
Right.
Are you getting me?
I understand now the meaning of compromise.
Look. I stay in the middle. I've raised a red flag. Those of you who open your loud mouth, a lot of these people who are here are not educated.
But during their show, they said I'm tribalist because I'm.
Yeah. That's what they said. During my show.
Yeah, when you
No. I didn't hear that.
No.
And I didn't answer any question to that extent, to that effect. But listen to this. A lot of these so-called activists around the world here that are making all this mouth, how many of them went to school? You matter if you. I'm going to mean go to school. I mean going to school. School yourself.
That's not
having a degree from University of Boya doesn't make you educated.
Of course, whatever degree.
How many of them went to school?
Like doing
I used to take Mark Barrister for a serious person. Today he represents nothing to me.
Well,
I'm saying it on the air, and I will not abuse him like he abused me. But I'm saying that, young man, pack well, pack fine.
That's okay. Let's not get emotional. You know that.
No, I'm not. I cannot insult him the way he insulted me.
I understand, but we also, in as much as we have these differences, we also want to agree that the Mark Barrister that I know as publisher of National Telegraph, from what I've been reading, long before now, I think he's contributed tremendously in bringing this information to this level.
I don't know what he has contributed.
Right.
Let me tell you, I know the people who have contributed. If you talk, I cannot talk badly of Professor Anyangwe, because I know when he started with me, with us, in Boya, in the All Anglophone Conference, and he has stayed the course. I cannot talk back at a man like that, because he has contributed. He has given almost all his life for this. I cannot talk about Gojidinka. I cannot talk about Fongalamfo. Neither can I talk about Tasang Wilfred so badly. I cannot. These are the pillars of the revolution. But when a small activist, we want to make money, he goes and is dealing with Ayabacho, who has blood in his hands. I'm saying this, let Ayabacho come after me. He too may come after me. He has blood in his hands. What happened in Kusang, in my wife's village, it's inexcusable. He has blood in his hands. And anybody who has blood in his hands, as far as Barrister Fru is concerned, is not a member of this revolution. You don't kill your own people. Under no circumstances must you kill an Amazonian.
Right. Now we'll take some questions. Barrister, there is this very burning issue about we have listened to those audios where people are insulting.
Oh yes,
Eric here.
They call you a thief, just like they tell me to shut up.
And then others are still saying here and all of those things. So
no, as a journalist, you have to just take that, swallow it. I am a lawyer. I've had a lot of insults in my whole life, professional life, but I swallow it.
Okay, now we have this question. We'll
Yes.
take this question. You can see from here yourself. It's coming from Erica Tebongafak. Erica Tebongafak, we're going to take your question. Just
Oh yes. Well, let me answer that question.
You've read it, right?
Yeah, let me
So I'll
answer
just read it aloud. He says it's on WhatsApp, so Pa can see it's coming from another number. Pa Nsoh, please, does Siseko's letter to the UN have any negative impact to this revolution? That's the question I asked you. And that, can a letter written from jail push? Please, we are not taking calls. We are not taking calls. So
go on.
people who are calling, we might be forced to block them because they struck the same phone that we are.
Can a letter written from jail?
Can jail push this revolution ahead more than AK-47? So that's the question that is asked.
Listen, that letter written from jail to the United Nations is treasonable.
Now the
Let-
question,
wait,
the
wait,
question
wait.
here is that he has any.
Look,
no, let's
listen to me.
Let's be fair.
Listen
here.
to me.
Go ahead. I'm getting you.
He is incapacitated. In
I
law,
agree.
in law, it means that he's not in any position to make decisions
From jail.
Because he is in the hands of the enemy. He's been captured by the enemy,
Right.
and is making and that letter. I don't know whether it's written by him or all of them. It's treasonable because if he wrote that letter and sent to Saku and say, my brother, see this letter. If it's okay, please formalize it and send it to the United Nations. That would be a different story.
Right.
He wrote it and signed Kondenge and sent it straight to the UN. And you know what? What tricked me is the fact that he copied so many people. He copied so many people. You know who he left out?
You.
Me.
I didn't see you.
Me.
But would that be why you're angry? Because you're not...
No. That letter was just... I saw that letter already here.
I understand.
I was already here.
I was just asking.
I was already here. So
You know,
the statement I made was not made out of anger.
But yeah, going forward, when you see that...
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. You mentioned anger. I was angry when he informed me, and this is not protected speech that has to do with the case. He informed me that you should know that you are not my personal lawyer. You are not my government lawyer.
Just one minute, just to tackle something. Somebody says
Listen,
don't cover. Just 1 minute, Barrister quickly. They don't cover up Eric. He's not allowed to write from jail. I want to inform this Jacob of a guy that Eric is not covering up. I'm taking questions from people who are asking.
Yes.
So I want you to differentiate Eric and this show is important.
Correct.
Yes.
I am saying that letter is treasonable because he bypassed the interim government
Right.
and sent it
To the UN.
to the UN. Now, what I'm saying is that if he sent it to Sako and said, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Acting President, look at this. If it's okay with you, you amend it and send it. No, an official letterhead. It didn't carry an official letterhead. And send it to the UN. That would have been a different story.
What would be the official letterhead?
Federal Republic of Amazonia.
Okay.
Is that not it?
But
Are there two letterheads?
No, I'm asking.
Are there two letterheads?
Don't get.
No.
don't
You are an ambassador. You might be a journalist.
We're talking on one now.
Yes.
So this is
it's the Federal Republic of
I'm just trying
Amazonia.
to make sure that there are people who might be watching.
And the address is in Boya.
Right. Right.
If he send that letter as it is,
Okay.
it will be formalized and put on the letterhead.
I agree. Okay.
And sent
Now
to the
let me follow up with this.
Or
question.
that is if another letter had not been sent. If a letter had been sent in the same direction, the interim government will inform him. I don't know by what means. I discourage phone calls because the Republic follows every move that we make. Let nobody be deceived. It would have told him that no, we have already written to the UN. We thank you for the contribution. But to have sat in prison, sent it straight to the UN, copied almost everybody, Eric Tataw, Capo Daniel, whom he has appointed ambassador. Can you imagine that?
No, I didn't see him copied in that letter. I have to wait.
Capo Daniel was copied.
No,
Eric Tataw was copied.
No, I didn't see him.
Mark Barata was copied.
I didn't see him copied.
Most of the except Tapang, most of the activists were copied.
Okay,
No,
that's fine.
listen.
That,
the only name there that was not there was mine.
Yeah, accepted.
And I appreciate that. He treats me with disdain now, so that's fine. That's also fine. But I'm saying that letter that he sent straight to the United Nations is treasonable.
Right.
He is an incapacitated head of state,
Right.
and he should not. He should stay when he comes out. When he comes out, and the Restoration Council does his work, he will re-establish him in the leadership of Amazonia.
Right. Now, some people think that your outing is causing division, and that they look at it as though you were supposed to try to talk unity. Because what way are you preaching forward? Because now, what they think is that, like some people who talked about one of my outings when you and I were driving to shoot the show. You remember the person was advising, you were in the car, and the person was advising strongly that as you stay on that lane, it's important that everybody should come on the lane of neutrality so that the two leaders can come together. Because
Listen, let me ask you.
Right, go ahead.
What is the problem between two leaders?
Well, you should be telling me.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. What has Sako done? And in all fairness, you're a journalist. You will tell me that he has embezzled $500,000.
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, but let me ask you.
I'm not sure
has
you
he
followed
done?
up my show.
What has
saying
he? Well, no. I'm not saying that you said that. No.
Okay.
Just follow me. What has Sako done that you now have to reconcile the two? What has he done?
What?
I fail to see it all. All I'm seeing is that my president put out a letter dissolving the interim government. Went ahead to appoint people, a vice president and people in the government. One of the members of government is sitting with him in jail. Went ahead and created the Transitional Restoration Council.
Okay, somebody asked here that are we going to win this fight by war or some other means? So that's what somebody is asking.
No, we're going to win by either war or by diplomacy.
Okay.
Tell him that.
Okay, so Pa's answer. So we'll take some other questions.
And if you ask me, we are going to continue the war.
Okay. Now there is this thing that's coming up. This protest that we. It's planned because people are raising concerns.
Yes.
Telegraph remains very objective, credible. So we ask all your questions. Although we'll not be able to take everybody's question, but we'll try to satisfy everybody. We'll take this question from Tembi. Tembi had asked. Let me go to this messaging system. Tembi asked this question. I'll go to where's Tembi? So I think I'm trying to pull out. Okay, let me just start here. Ask let me go now. Okay, can Barrister Fru, Eric, can you ask Barrister Fru on which facts did he make his assumption that IP Siseko was compromised? Can't understand as a legal man. How come he threw out a vague question without any file against him? This is okay.
Yeah,
now,
let me answer
that question.
Let me answer that question. Look, if you are pushing me to divulge your evidence so that I further divide this revolution, you have to operate me to get it.
Okay.
And professional ethics will not allow me to divulge. I've just made one statement. But the one that you should be thinking about is the cabal in South Africa.
Okay, this question, Barrister Fru, is from Tebi. Tebi has asked a couple of questions.
Let me say something about South Africa. I received a posting from one Milton Tucker inviting me to South Africa. I am announcing here that I'm not going to South Africa anymore. I was making my mind to go there with Karim because those are our people. But from all this, I'm now beginning to think that we are not safe in South Africa, and we are not going. Thanks to your advice, that it is not good to go to South Africa.
Yeah, I remember that in the last time.
Look at what is coming there. That I received money from South Africa. You will have to publish it. Show the money you sent in my name through Nsoh. Don't go and show something with Nsoh. Yeah,
I remember when Barrister Fru got that invitation and he consulted me as a son. I consulted you. And I told him that in the best interest of the revolution, because of what people complain about the poor South Africa, it's important that you should stay out of the South African invitation. Yes. But unfortunately today, people are still trying to throw stones at every tattoo,
Yeah, I know. but you will get stoned now. You're a journalist.
Well, of course. We agree all of those things. What I believe is that each time you get in middle to divide the fight, you obviously will get punches from from the two people.
I don't know what the fight is. I still don't know.
Well, unfortunately, there's one. Everybody knows there's one. Now, we get this question. What is your rationale of Ambazonian to join the protest with the Camp owing to the fact that you have been to the court in La Republic and you know their position when it comes to the independence of Ambazonia? Now, let me just explain to you before I get that question. Number one is the fact that I talked of with the BAS. BAS is Brigade Anti-Sadena, which is a human rights group registered here in America. It's not people misinterpret it to be pro-Camto, but it is just a human rights group advocating for justice, human rights violations, and what you can call from across the globe. So whether Camto is cheated in elections, it's human rights violation. Whether they're killing people in Ambazonia, it's human rights violation. And so somebody is asking you what you think. Is it any way fair? If the BAS and Ambazonians and Guinea-Conakry and people were to come together for a protest about the killings in the Northwest and Southwest?
I get offended when I see a flag of La Republique du Cameroon.
Right.
In order to avoid that, the two flags should stay away. You dress in black and you carry the placards showing how our people have been slaughtered. And that way you can march with them. Camto is not an enemy. Professor, Camto is not an enemy of Ambazonians, at least not now. We're still waiting. because I know after everything he's going to be the president of the Republic of Cameroon. You just watch my word.
I follow you.
Yes, but if you are going to match with them, I will propose that the match should be neutral.
So you think the match is a good idea?
It's a good idea.
But we just need to fine tune the
You
strategy.
fine tune the strategy. Don't carry any flags. I
modalities.
don't want to see a La République de Cameroon flag. But to be fair to them, you too should leave Amazonian flag.
Just on the basis of humanitarian.
Yes, and carry the placards. And come out in their masses and wear blacks. That would be very good.
But what about people who just came outright condemning?
No.
Condemning
No.
Because Eric Tataw was with the Basmi.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. You may want to know that one of my best lawyers, one of the best lawyers and the confidant that I have, is the Secretary General of MRC.
Oh yeah? Barrister Fru.
Barrister Ndong.
Oh no.
But he's not the one that Kamto uses. He is in the defense of Ayuk Tabe and 9 others. And it is his chambers that will do everything. Pre-trial conferences.
So, but when we saw this conspiracy about Barrister Ayuk Tabe dumping you for Francophone lawyers?
I don't know about that, but I know that one of the Francophone lawyers that were sent to defend us is helping to get Ayuk Tabe with Ayolom Bondo.
Oh yeah, I see.
But that's not the evidence I say I have. I have other evidence that are damaging, and I'm not going to say it.
That's fine. Okay, perfect. So,
and I'm not going to call the lawyer's name. I will not call the lawyer's name.
Okay, so somebody's asking a question that is that please Eric keep away from. Okay, this is you should not be talking about it. That's fine. Thank you.
No. Let them hear that.
No, that you should keep you away from talking about ADF, but that's fine. Don't comment on that. I think it's somebody's idea.
ADF.
That's okay. Then
Why should I
ask
keep
how
away?
much
They
money
have their
do
costing to our
Sako-
people on the ground.
Do Dr. Sako pay each lawyer for each case? So if you want to answer that, that
No,
will be fair.
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay.
The lawyers have not been paid. Well, hold on. Let me answer that. We do this case pro bono. That is, we have not charged a fee. The money we received is only to pay hotel bills, eat, and transport ourselves from where we are coming and back. That's all. And I want to tell you, this is $1 million case, a high-profile political case in Cameroon. And anybody who thinks that we have charged a fee should think again. We have this. We as bona fide Amazonians were working for free. And let me use the word again. We are working for free. The only money we get is to help you pay a hotel bill, which is not even enough. I fly from Douala to Yaoundé from my pocket most of the time. Sometimes the money goes to pay my flight, but most of the time I fly in my in my pocket. Especially when Ayuk Tabe took over and appointed a lady as a project manager. He has never paid my ticket, and I keep paying the ticket and flying to Yaoundé and flying out.
Right.
I'm doing a personal sacrifice. I went borrowing money to bring Oru from Nigeria to come with the evidence. What is the evidence? I don't want to tell you because it's professional ethics. To bring the evidence. And when he came and the money he had asked me to pay him, I did the exchange rate. It was not satisfactory to him. He came to the hotel and wanted to strangle me. That is what Tabeyang is using. That I am a dishonest man. I could not even pay Oru. Did you ask Tabeyang whether he sent money for me to pay for a ticket and lodging for Oru in Yaoundé the last time he came with that evidence? You must be sick in your head, my friend.
That's fair. I think Pa is getting emotional about stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, when some of these things, you cannot help but get angry.
Which I know, which is normal. But so
If you didn't send that money, I would not have been able to take care of Oru. I just borrowed the money, and the interest was going up. As soon as you send the money, I paid it. Thank you, Eric. Even though Mark Barata has been insulting me, you and Joshua Carr and maybe Mark Barata, I don't know, but you raised that money.
Okay.
and which we used during the lockdown. And I gave you all the justification, didn't I?
You did.
Hello.
You did. So now the other question from Bishop in UAE. Bishop is asking that, Barrister, from the way things are going concerning our leaders in jail, he's very concerned about the leaders in jail. You can see the question. How soon can we expect them to be released? That's the question that he asked.
Massa, we are tying the matter in court, and if there is minded to negotiate with us, we are not going to any negotiating table until our leaders and all Ambazonians, if they forget one in prison, we are not going to do any negotiation with them. Everybody will be released before we go for negotiations.
Okay, somebody says that, Pa, as our father, not only a lawyer, what is the way forward from you as an advice? Because I want to think that His Excellency Nsoh should always get to the detained president before or after any move. That's a good advice. That's what he's saying. So
well, I would not pretend to give advice to the interim president. I'm not his immediate advisor. But I'm saying that from the facts so far, I don't see what Nsoh has done to merit any kind of reconciliation. All I've seen is that Mr. Ayuk Tabe has put out a document dissolving a whole government that was functioning, that has been managing the war for 15 months. And when the Amber Boys heard that, it was quite shocking. Managing the war for 15 months, and has created this county to county, local government area to local government area, to enable the people of Ambazonia abroad to finance the war effort by themselves. And it's working marvelously. What has he done to offend Mr. Ayuk Tabe for him to put out that document dissolving the interim government from jail? He is an incapacitated general, for heaven's sake. He fell with a gun in his hand and he was captured by the enemy. Until his release, he was not supposed to do that.
Okay, we'll take one more question and then we'll end the show. We'll do this more before we probably go.
Thank you very much.
I don't want it to be too lengthy. Somebody says that Nsoh fired Siseko's protégés. I think I got that one, yeah. In the IG, that's his closest collaborators. Siseko's friends, his confidant in the IG are no longer cooperating with Siseko. As acting, I think there is nothing wrong to stay in communication with the AIP and briefing. I support your Solomon's position, Mr. Eric. I didn't know you mentioned my name. Okay, anyway, that was I was just reading generally.
Let me answer that.
As you can see, as it's coming now.
Okay.
Can
I answer that first?
1 minute. Nsoh has been part of the cause of donor fatigue, but belaboring all these will not push the independence. So let them come together. The person quotes Isaiah 155. So what do you think? I think we should end. There are a lot of questions. We're going to take more of your questions later. Let's end here with this particular quote that they should come together. Isaiah 1. That's somebody just saying. What do you think?
Listen. Mr. Ayuk Tabe is incapacitated. He has done enough damage in this revolution.
Right.
It is incumbent upon him. It's incumbent upon Mr. Ayuk Tabe to withdraw those documents that he put out here and regain his leadership. If he doesn't do it, then I'm not in the managing of the interim government. Another issue about firing Siseko's confidant. Let me tell you something. If I am in the driver's seat, I have a right to appoint who I want and to sack who I want. You understand? Go and read the constitution, the interim constitution. If you are not loyal to me because you are loyal to somebody else, I'll sack you. Then you go and be loyal to that person. You understand me?
Right.
Any government, any president who has been made president should be able to be given the free hand to form his cabinet wherever he takes it. And to be comfortable to work with them.
Right.
All we want is results.
Right. Good. So are you advising that there should not be some unity at the end of the day?
No. There should be unity.
Okay.
There should be unity, especially among us ordinary Ambazonians. We should unify and fight till we get to Goya. But all I'm saying is that I don't see anything wrong that Unless you can lie to
No,
me.
no, I am not.
I don't see
I'm
anything
not, I'm
wrong.
not
I don't see
saying,
anything wrong
this is an interview that you're
wrong
talking.
that Sako has done.
You're talking,
But I'm seeing everything wrong that our interim president has done from jail, and
So we just-
until he corrects that,
We just want. I'm not trying to push you to.
and until he corrects that,
I'm not trying to push you by chance to glorify my position.
Yes.
Just to, I say, you see, a lot of people, some people, let me say, a lot of reasonable people think that being the Solomon position where to bring them, people together is most important. The position.
but why do you think that bringing the two together is more important than bringing the masses together?
No, we're talking because because people think that the masses are divided, falling behind the leaders. You understand? Like you have your supporters, right? Some of the president has his supporters.
But you want to know my impression?
Go ahead.
The thing has become tribal.
Right.
It has become tribal.
And it would appear I'm part of the.
Yeah, they accuse you. When you go this way, they accuse you. When you come this way, they accuse you.
So
You're in the middle.
what do you advise me?
Stay in the middle. Stay on the fast lane, man. Stay on the fast lane.
Thank you. So we're going to end the interview
Thank
here.
you very much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Barrister Fru. We'll have another interview with Barrister Fru along the week.
No. You will not have an interview with me. I'm coming to enjoy the opening of the National Telegraph. I'm not going to. I may make a comment while we're here enjoying ourselves for the opening ceremony, but you are not going to have an interview. I'm having an interview tomorrow with the Secretary of Communication of the interim government.
Right.
And it's one-on-one. And those who still want to listen to me, you tune in.
Thank you so much. So, but don't bother about Barrister Fru. We'll have. Tomorrow is one-on-one with Secretary Chris. He's already had one-on-one with me here.
Yes.
We're going to have another one-on-one by the 7th before the day that you're going.
Okay. It's just
thank you so much. No, because there are a lot of questions you have not answered. So please, for those of you, I want to thank the people of Bafut. Let me just read it very quickly. I've received videos and pictures from that Bafut worldwide. They have done an amazing job. They have supplied gifts, rice, bags of stuff
very good.
humanitarian, for refugees. So
very good.
I want to thank you very much. Thank you all who are watching this show. Do not forget to always follow our page. Make sure that you click like and follow National Telegraph. You can follow us on YouTube, on National Telegraph, on Facebook, on National Telegraph, on Twitter, on National Telegraph, as well as on Snapchat. You can follow Eric Tataw. Basically, that's the only thing I have left in my account. So thank you so much. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure having you, Barrister Fru. God bless you. We're just going to walk and get some coffee, and then
No, Master.
Thank you.
Me, I go chop.
Okay, you're going to eat.
Which
Okay.
the top? I beg. I'm hungry, man.
Barrister says he's hungry.
I'm hungry.
So, thank you so much.
Cannot tell me about
Of course, we'll go for some meat. So thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen.